Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my match predictions for the round 3 of the FA Cup. And finally, this historic tournament is back with so many people, so many pundits saying this tournament has lost its shine. Look at last year, we saw an epic final between Liverpool and Chelsea which went to penalties. We saw teams like Boreham would go to the 5th round of the FA Cup against Everton. This is the make-believe tournament, anything can happen, surprises always do, and let's see if we're going to get them so early in the round of 3 FA Cup ties. And these ties aren't going to disappoint. We already got a massive Goliath fight between Chelsea and Manchester City, two top teams in the Premier League facing out so early in the competition. We also got Liverpool versus Wolves. We got other teams like Manchester United versus Everton. All Premier League ties already in the round 3 of this competition. Also, we got the classic underdog story between Oxford United versus Arsenal. Can Oxford make some noise against Arsenal, who we know have won the most FA Cups in the competition's history? But we're going to have to wait and see. However, before going this video and give my predictions, you know I'm going to say, make sure you like, comment, and hit that big subscribe button right there. And make sure you guys in the comment section give me your own predictions. So the first game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester City versus Chelsea. We know two massive sides in England, two of the top 6 big sides within the country. So let's see which team will be able to advance to the round 4 of this competition. And straight away, you have to feel a little bit sorry for Chelsea, don't you? They have to face Manchester City twice within 1 week, let alone they've already faced Manchester City in the Carabao Cup away from home. And they haven't had the luck of the draw either, facing Manchester City away from home going within this fixture. So going into this game, obviously Chelsea are the underdogs. They aren't going to be the favourites because we know Manchester City, they have the strength and depth and quality to blow any team away. And this is what these games really rely on. It relies on clever squad rotation. If you have the depth within your squad to manage your players to ensure you have a very strong lineup going into this game. And we know Manchester City have abundance of talent compared to Chelsea. They don't really have that within the Arsenal, and they're not in form as we speak, only winning 1 within their last 7 games. Obviously things can change if they do beat Manchester City at Stamford Bridge on Thursday, but at the end of the day, Manchester City will be seeking vengeance in the FA Cup tie when we know Pep Guardiola players are highly motivated, especially when they lose a game. So going into this game, I think Chelsea are the extreme underdogs and they will potentially lose. And especially due to the intensity and the fact there's been Premier League games every 3 or 4 days or so, I feel like both managers will be anticipating that they must rotate the squad to keep it fresh, to make sure that the players are obviously have had rest and are able to go within the Premier League's next few fixtures. But Manchester City, like I said, they got so much quality. Just think about it. Alvarez returning back for winning the World Cup. He's Manchester City's second striker. Cole Palmer, one of the young, inspiring talents England do have within the Arsenal. And whenever he's plugged into the Manchester City team, it doesn't look like Manchester City skip a beat. Also, Calvin Phillips, who we know has a great reputation, an established international player who performs well, who can slot in ahead of Rodri, who will need rest. Also, other players like Gundogan, Phil Foden, a generational talent for England. These guys are going to be starting as well, compared to a Chelsea side who we know do not have this sort of quality, and even if they do, they're not in great form as we speak in this moment of time. I feel like the formula to beat Manchester City is to be very physical, have athleticism within the midfield to stop any sort of build-up play Manchester City do use, especially when they have a stranglehold of the game. And we know Chelsea, as we speak, are more made up of a possession style sort of play with their players who prefer ball to feet rather than being physical and aggressive within the midfield. So I feel like even from a standpoint of styles matchup, I think it's going to favour Manchester City because they're much superior compared to Chelsea when it comes to retaining possession and obviously dominating the game on the front foot. So going into this game, I think it's going to be fairly similar like we saw in the home game at the Etihad in the Carabao Cup, and I think Manchester City will win quite easily. I'm going to go for a 3-1 home victory for Manchester City within this game. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Manchester United versus Everton, another thrilling contest between two Premier League sides. And going into this game, these two sides couldn't have been in more opposite form as we speak. We know Everton right now haven't won within their last 7 games. In fact, their last win came in October. That was like 2 to 3 months ago. However, we know Manchester United are in complete opposite of form, winning their last 6 games on the bounce with confidence oozing within them, and obviously buying and implementing Ten Hag style football on the pitch and are being very successful. So going into this game, surely there's only going to be one winner, right? Especially since Everton are away from home, and we know Manchester United's Old Trafford has been a fortress this season, only losing to Brighton so far. So going into this game, it's going to be very hard and difficult for Everton's side to break down Manchester United when we know defensively they've been very strong, keeping a lot of clean sheets within their last few games. Also, we know Erik ten Hag has a lot of tendency of not to rotate his squad because his squad is very thin. They don't have the strength and depth like other teams at Manchester City to rotate heavily. And we know Ten Hag doesn't really trust his subs or reserve players to get the job done on the pitch. So going into this game, Everton, best of luck. You're going to be seeing Manchester United's best players. I think players like Rashford will start, especially since Manchester United don't really have a striker right now. Only one within their squad in Martial, who may be injured. Casemiro's going to keep playing. I feel like Eriksen potentially will. The only real player I feel like coming off the bench will start is Garnacho, who we know has been excelling under Ten Hag. So Everton really have their work cut out, especially not really feeling that motivated and that inspired that they can actually beat Manchester United with their diabolical form. Also, Frank Lampard has to be worried that he has to understand he is in a relegation scrap. So will he actually want to field his best players? Although Demarai Gray has been in fine form scoring in his last 2 games, will he give him a breather, especially since they have more important challenging games within the Premier League, and the last thing they need to do is focus on the FA Cup, which they probably won't win because they're not good enough? So what, a strong Manchester United side at home, never losing there compared to a weak Everton side who are weak-minded and don't really have the confidence right now? Easy peasy, Manchester United should win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory for the home side. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Liverpool versus Wolves, and as a Liverpool fan, I don't know what to say. Although we did win 4 on the bounce and obviously lost to Brentford, the Brentford result is more telling of how poor we've actually been with the restart to the Premier League season. We can't get it twisted. There's so many weaknesses, there's so many vulnerabilities when it comes to this Liverpool side that Wolves can take advantage of going into this game. The fact that Núñez is missing an abundance of chances, showing that he's not living up to the price tag. The fact that Liverpool's midfield looks old age, weak, unable to get around the pitch and be physical and win second balls. The fact that Liverpool's high line isn't as great as it once was, with teams making timely runs and able to take advantage of this. Wolves will be licking their lips thinking that if we can make this an end-to-end game at Anfield, we can get real joy and possibly advance to the 4th round of the FA Cup. And Wolves do have the players and the capabilities to take advantage of Liverpool with players like Podence, Juan, also Traore, willing runners with the ball who can drive into the heart of a defence. And it looks like these days any opposition, any team can do this to Liverpool, especially with Liverpool not being able to get around the pitch. I know Liverpool at Anfield and we've only lost there once this season, but this bubble will burst because I'm telling you, against Leicester, against Aston Villa, and especially against Brentford, it is so easy to counter-attack against Liverpool to get real joy. The only real thing I can think of is that obviously Wolves going forward do lack quality in terms of the final third to score goals, and they may let Liverpool off the hook, leaving so many chances on the table. But at the end of the day, I just don't feel like Liverpool will have enough quality going forward, especially since I know Jurgen Klopp loves to rotate his side, especially when it comes to cup games. I feel like players like Salah, Núñez, these sort of quality players will be given a rest to the likes of Carvalho to start. Obviously, Elliott will start again. And I feel like in that final third, we might lack cutting edge to actually break down Wolves. Going into this game, I don't like to be negative, but I genuinely feel like because of Liverpool's performances, it's only a matter of time until teams start to win and actually show us more vulnerabilities to this side. So I'm going to be predicting a 2-1 away victory for Wolves against Liverpool in the round 3 of the FA Cup. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Oxford United versus Arsenal, the classic David v Goliath story, with the underdogs Oxford United looking to win at home against Arsenal, who we know have won the most FA Cup trophies in history. Could Oxford United actually pull off an upset and actually beat Arsenal with a historic victory at home? Or will Arsenal do the predictable and actually win? We'll have to wait and see. And although Oxford don't enter this game in great form in League One, being mid-table, only winning one game out of their last 5 fixtures, Oxford should feel at least some sort of optimism that, look, we're at home, we can make this a hostile environment, a hostile atmosphere, make sure that we're physical, tough, win the second balls, and make it really challenging for Arsenal to have a stranglehold of possession to really dominate and silence the fans. Going into this game, we know Oxford are going to play direct, Route 1 football, make it tough for Arsenal, and really ask a lot of questions about them to see if they're mentally tough to ensure that they can actually pick up the victory. Also, other things I feel like Oxford can rely on is that Arteta will rotate his squad, because we saw in the Carabao Cup, Arsenal were flying, but Arteta didn't want to carry this momentum in the Carabao Cup. He rotated his squad and brought in the younger players who were not really starting for Arsenal, players like Lokonga, Vieira, obviously Marquinhos. And if these sort of players do start this game against Oxford, they're not tailor-made. They don't know what it's like to play in an FA Cup round 3 tie away from home, where it's going to be hostile and it's going to be physicality. Maybe Oxford United can snatch a win within this fixture. However, it is FA Cup week. Maybe Arsenal will have enough time to rest and actually play their starting 11, especially since on the Carabao Cup. And Arteta will want to obviously bring Arsenal back into form, using this game as a launch pad to get Arsenal back into form, especially since they drew to Newcastle 0-0. So going into this game, I feel like Arsenal will field a strong enough 11 to beat Oxford United, who haven't been in the best form, like I said. And Arsenal will want to get back within that momentum. I'm going to go for a tough win, but they will win, a 2-0 victory away from home for Arsenal. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Brentford versus West Ham United, a London derby in the round 3 of the FA Cup ties. And going into this game, these two teams are in binary opposite forms. Brentford, we know, are 7th in the Premier League table right now, getting signature wins against the teams like Manchester United and Liverpool, scoring 7 goals in those combined games, getting a draw against Spurs, and even winning away at the Etihad. So Brentford are in fine form. They have the confidence, the enthusiasm, and the optimism that they can put West Ham to the sword, especially since they just did it last week at the London Stadium, winning away from home, scoring 2 goals. So Brentford right now must feel like they're in the minds of West Ham. They have the mental edge and they know how to implement tactics to actually take advantage of West Ham, who've actually been diabolical this season, hovering above the relegation zone in 17th place as we speak. So Brentford are the clear favourites. I can't see them not winning this game. I feel like they got West Ham's number. Ivan Toney will be returning back from injury. And we know Mbeumo and Ivan Toney up front is a handful for any team within the Premier League. And this is a great opportunity for Brentford to actually advance in the FA Cup, especially since West Ham are not filled with any optimism, especially since some fans want David Moyes to be sacked. They want a transition since they've got more talented players at the squad like Paqueta, Bowen obviously being phenomenal there. They want a more expansive style of football, and David Moyes isn't going to be able to implement that. Confidence is running low, and the last thing David Moyes needs right now is a long cup run, since they must be looking over their shoulder at the relegation zone, since they haven't won a game since October as well. So surely there's only going to be one winner within this fixture. So I'm going to be predicting a 2-1 victory for Brentford going into this game, since they've beaten West Ham before, and it should be straightforward. Thank you guys for watching my video. I'll see you in the next one. Let me know your predictions in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.